All right, the floor is yours, Nitesh. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Uh, it's good to be on the Tech Talk again. So, as Sean mentioned today, we are going to talk about the assistive technology assessments or the technology assessments that the DBVI, which is the Virginia Department for the Blind and Vision Impaired, offers for its clients. And I do have a small PowerPoint presentation, which I would like to share with you at this point. And let's see how it goes from here. Okay. Let's see. Sean, are you able to see the?
Yes. Yep. Department for the Blind, Visually Impaired, Fairfax Regional Office. Go right ahead. We see it.
Give me a sec. I'm going to maximize it. This one here. Okay.
Perfect.
So the Department for the Blind and Vision Impaired, DBVI, is an agency of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we provide services to individuals who are visually impaired, blind, or deafblind. These services that we provide focus on increasing the independence of our clients, making them more productive, or kind of to help them enjoy the life to the fullest or satisfy their vocational goals, which they have in mind. So based on the needs of the clients, these services have been categorized into several categories. And I'm just going to go over that very briefly, just so that if you or you know someone you know of, you feel they might benefit with one of our services, you are welcome to let them know and they can contact the agency to register as a client and get services. So the first services that I will talk about is vocational rehabilitation. This service focuses on providing vocational and rehabilitative uh, services to our clients. Like these services are for to gain, maintain, regain, or advance in their employments or career. The next service that we have is called the rehab teaching or the independent living services. So as the name suggests, these services are for clients who wish to satisfy their activities of daily living. It could be like using a computer, reading a newspaper, going through their mails, or socializing, or maybe doing some leisure activities. So these are for activities of daily living. The third in list is the education services. These are offered to children, infants, students, and young, so that just to avoid the developmental delays that they might face, or for them to realize their true potential at school. The next service in line is the pre-employment transition services. So this is related to the education services. When one of our client who's a student wishes to enter the world of an employment, so this service, the pre-employment transition, acts like a bridge between that. It prepares our clients to go into the employment world, decide what might be good for them, apply to places, and actually feel and understand how they might feel at a job. The next service is the orientation and mobility services. So these are like the white cane training. These help the clients to maximize their independence of travel, whether within their home or maybe in the community or within the city or from their home to the place of work or school. Next is the business relations services. So these are like a pipeline, a bridge between the employer and our clients. So these services help the employers recruit or employ a pre-screened pre-screened, highly skilled talent of our clients. And we have business relations specialists who work with employers to satisfy that task or that goal. Then we have the deaf-blind services. So these services are for people who have a combined impairment of vision and hearing. If someone falls in that category, they are referred to the deaf-blind services. The next thing we have is the low vision services. So these are for people who want to maximize their use of the residual vision. So these are offered in the form of community-based rehabilitation services. Like they consist of a low vision eye exam, a clinical assessment, and then pointing them to resources which can help them to maximize the use of their remaining vision. And then we have the library services. I'm just skipping the rehabilitation technology because this is what we are going to talk about in detail later. We have the library services. We have a library and a resource center. This is for libraries for anyone, and we work in combination with the National Library Service and the American Printing House, APH. And library services are for anyone who is print disabled. We do have the resource center at the library, which is for basically for educators like TVIs to get resources about how to go ahead with, get some equipment or devices for children or for the students. We do have the VRCBVI, which is full form is the Virginia Rehabilitation Center for the Blind and Vision Impaired. So this is the gold mine of a resource. With this, the clients are able to, it's located in Richmond. So clients are able to visit the center for a day's program or maybe for a week's program or for extended programs, which are like 6 months or 9 months. They can stay at the dorm at the center. And during the day, they will be doing all activities like braille, keyboarding, or maybe personal and home management, or physical fitness. So all related to every activities of daily living, they are taught. One is like access technology. So all of them, they will find that to develop the skills, they will be kind of, give me a sec. So they will be, it's like a real life experience of how one lives with vision loss. So many of our clients have benefited from that a lot. So the last and not the least is the rehabilitation technology services. So I will just switch over to the next slide. So rehab technology services, basically a technology backbone behind all other services. So any of these other services, if they need anything to do with technology, then rehabilitation technology services are consulted, or they are brought into the situation or the case. So let me read the definition, or I mean the kind of description of that. The rehab technology services provides technical support to our clients, agency staff, educators, and employers to assess, evaluate, recommend, install, customize, and troubleshoot assistive technology software and/or devices. These services help optimize the outcomes of employment, education, and/or independent living skills that our clients wish to achieve. The department consists of a director of rehab technology services, they are in Richmond, and an IT support specialist, again, they are in Richmond, and a rehab technology specialist at each of the zonal offices. So for example, Fairfax is a zonal office, and I work as a rehab technology specialist here. The IT support specialist, which is in Richmond, they are available over a phone call or an email to provide consultations related to assistive technology and/or devices. So it's open to not only our clients, but any one from the general public, like any Virginian can call the support desk, and if they have inquiries about any assistive technology questions, they are welcome to reach out. The contact details of our support desk, I'm just going to read it and I'm going to forward it to Sean later on so that it can be added to the follow-up email that you all will get after the program. The name is Josh Taylor. The telephone number is 804-371-3447. We do have a toll-free number, which is 800-622-2155. Contact can also be made on an email. It's like josh.taylor, Josh dot Taylor, Taylor, at dbvi.virginia.gov. The support specialist is available from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. So now on to the core topic of today, assistive technology evaluations. What is an assistive technology evaluation? So it is the process of conducting extensive assessments about the assistive technology skills and needs of a client. Who refers for AT evaluations? Like how does a client get a referral for an assistive technology assessment? How can they reach to that program? So referrals are generally received from the case managers. So what would happen if you are a client of the agency at this time, or if you become a client in the time to come, you will be assigned a case manager based on the category of services that you need or you fall into. So for example, if you fall into the category of vocational rehabilitation, you will be assigned to a vocational rehabilitation counselor. If, on the other hand, you need or you fall into the category of the RTIL services, which is rehab teaching or independent living, you would again be assigned a rehab teacher. So your case manager is able to discuss with you your needs and your skill set and your goals. And based on that, he will make a referral. He or she will make a referral for the assistive technology evaluation. So this is how referrals are made. We receive referrals, most of them from vocational rehabilitation. The second is from rehab teaching, and the third is from education services. We do get from others, but these are the broad ones which normally we get from. Now the process of AT evaluation. Sean, I lose track of time, so just remind me if I go over, okay?
Will do. You're at 123 right now.
Thank you, Sean. So the process of AT evaluation. So once a referral is made, and once I'll just quote my example because I work at the Fairfax office. So once a referral is made and once I receive the referral, I will contact the client for an intake or a pre-assessment. So during this intake, I'm going to ask a few questions, which will help me determine or understand the needs, the skill set the client has, and what equipment or technology might be best to be demonstrated or shown to them, what might work for them. This will give me a primary idea of that. So once that assessment is completed, we will schedule an in-person. So the first step is usually a virtual. It's over a phone call or a virtual meeting like Teams or Zoom. So once that step is completed, we will schedule an in-person meeting. This usually happens at our office at Fairfax Regional Office, where we have a lab, and I'm just sitting in the lab at this time when I talk with you. Or this could be done at client's home, depending on how comfortable they are going out, or they like to be seen at their homes. Or it could be done at a place like a library, which is close to their homes. So some of our clients, folks, I see they're happy meeting at the library, and we reserve a meeting room, and then we do meet there. So when a personal meeting is scheduled, during that meeting, the meeting would usually last about 1.5 hours, 60 to 90 minutes. And during that meeting, I will be showing them, demonstrating them the technologies that were determined to be useful for their goals and needs. They will be made to use those. Their skills of using, their ability of using, or their the background that they have in terms of technology will be assessed and will be kind of recorded. So all this is done on the basis of a rehab technology manual. We do have a manual which suggests how we should progress with a case, and based on that, we determine what technology out of all might work the best for their current needs. Of course, the client will be given an opportunity to ask questions, or maybe um, take a look at other devices which I might not have, determined for them. But if they have seen something or they have heard about something, they are welcome to ask questions and take a look. If I do have that, I'll be able to show it to them. If I do not, we'll be able to discuss at least, and then chalk out the next steps on how we can go. So once that actual evaluation is completed, I do have a set of recommendations for that client. And I will then make a technology report with those recommendations. The report would be a one-on-one account of how the meeting went, and what all we did, and what all was demonstrated, and how the client's skills were found to be. And so, at the end of the report will be the recommendations, which I feel could help them to succeed in the goals that were listed during the referral. So when I get a referral, there are goals which are listed. For example, a client, okay, so they want to do good at their college. They are entering college and they want to good at their college. Or another client, for example, is going to get employed in a couple of months and they want to do good at their job. So based on these goals, the recommendations will be made and they will be sent to the case manager. Now everything is with the case manager. So he or she sometimes they discuss with the client the recommendations. At other times, they feel that it is in line with what was thought before, they had in their minds, and they don't want to discuss it and they just want to go ahead. So the case manager would accord approval to these recommendations. Now he or she has the ability to approve all the recommendations, or approve some of them, or none of them. It depends how they feel, how the assessment was done. If they feel the assessment was inappropriate and they feel that something else might be needed, then they might get back to me saying that, don't you think device A, B, C, or D will work better for that client? But on the other hand, if they feel that the assessment is done well and everything looks good, they'll be able to approve and authorize these items that were recommended. So at this time, the process of procurement will start. So the administration would be able to, on the basis of those authorizations, admin will be able to purchase these items. And once these items are purchased, these will reach the Fairfax regional office. So once I have these technologies or devices that were ordered, I would initially give an initial test to them, set them up if that is needed. Some of the devices might need a setup, so we'll set them up. And then I'll reach out to the client again, saying that I have all the technology and devices that were ordered for you, and I'm ready for a delivery. So again, the same thing, the meeting for the delivery sometimes can take place in the office, or some of the clients say, okay, I'm okay coming to your office and picking up the stuff. But on the other hand, or during some occasion, on some cases, we do go to the home and deliver items, install them, set them up. For example, um, if one of the devices needs to be connected to their home Wi-Fi, then we need to be going to their home to connect it and set it up for them. For example, if the device is a large desktop CCTV electronic magnifier, that needs to be again set it up at their home. So once the delivery appointment is scheduled and when we meet for the delivery, all the devices that or technologies that were recommended will be delivered to the client, will be demonstrated to the client, and the client will be given an option to ask questions, and initial orientation will be provided on how these devices will work or how this technology will work. And then he or she, I mean the client, will be given a chance to keep using it for some time, to get familiar with these devices, whatever we recommend. So the next is the training and follow-ups. So after the delivery, the client, usually the rehab technology specialist will make a follow-up call after a few weeks, asking the client how they're feeling, if they have any further questions about the technology and or devices that were provided. And if if a training was recommended, the RTS would now, try to figure out if the time for the training is appropriate. So once the client gets the technology and once he gets used to all the devices, how to operate them, if advanced training is required, then this is the step when that training would be, the case manager would be informed that the client is now good for the training. I'll cover the training a little in more depth in the next slide. So additional consultations if needed. So once the technology is delivered, once the client is used to it and they're kind of using it, it might happen that over some time, they might find an issue with something is not working the way it was working before, or they want some setting to be changed. So that is when additional consultations come into play, and the clients are welcome to call the rehab technology staff to, talk to them or leave a message or email them saying that this is what they need. And the rehab technology staff, like me, I will call back, or we will schedule the next steps. It could be a in-person appointment. It could be a remote assistance. It could be assistance over the phone, whatever might be appropriate, we will do that. So, right. So, type of technologies or devices recommended or covered. So the agency covers all kinds of assistive technology. It's not limited to a device. It's not limited to a technology. But they may be listed or categorized in 4 basic categories. One of them is the first one is the magnification or visual enhancements. So this would cover things like portable CCTVs, handheld CCTV electronic magnifiers, or tablet-based CCTV electronic magnifiers, or the large desktop ones. The ones with or without OCR, or this would also cover the magnification on screen. For example, making text bigger on a computer screen, changing the colors on the screen to make it easier to see, or providing the inbuilt accessibility features within the operating system like the Mac OS or the Windows, or third-party softwares which do the enhancement and magnification. One of them is the Zoom text, which some of you might have heard about. So in the second category, we talk about something which is speech. So speech means something which is, the technology is called text to speech. So this would entail CCTV devices with OCR, or maybe a screen reader on a computer, like VoiceOver on a Mac, VoiceOver on iPhone, or maybe JAWS on Windows or NVDA on Windows. Something of that sort, a program which generates speech and makes gives the ability of to the user to use the device based on hearing rather than looking. We do have a hybrid approach, which is the magnification and speech both. The Zoom Text also is a hybrid program, so it offers enlarging the screen and also it offers an app reader. So we do have a hybrid between step 1 and step 2, the category 1 and 2, but we do have programs which either do the 1 or do the 2, just the speech. For example, JAWS does only the speech, and NVDA does only the speech. The third category is the tactile technologies. So, and the most prominent one amongst them is the Braille. So if the rehab technology specialist feels that the client can do good with Braille, then he or she might be assessed on using Braille devices. If they know Braille, it's good. I mean, it's an advantage. If they do not, then the resources to learn Braille will be provided to the client. Our rehab teachers, the RT-IL services, our rehab teachers are competent and they have the ability to teach Braille as well. So in the tactile technologies, the Braille devices will be covered. These would be like Braille displays, Braille note takers, or simple Braille keyboards, or anything to do with Braille, just Braille readers. It could be also embossers to print physical Braille if that is needed. Then the fourth category, which is a new category at this point, is the AI, the artificial intelligence technologies. We are seeing a promising future with the AI. It's already doing a lot for, in different arenas of technology. So it's also entering into the assistive technology. And we cover the AI devices which are existing in the market. If they are needed to the client for the client, yes, we can recommend that as well. So at this point, I would like to say one thing here, that technologies are recommended in the order of their usefulness and simplicity based on residual vision and the demonstrated needs and skills of the client. So it's like the technologies are recommended from the lowest tech going forward to the highest tech. It's not that straight away a high-tech device will be recommended. If a low-tech device can work for the client and can help the client satisfy the goals which are listed in the referral, then that low-tech device will be recommended. But if it is determined that the client's needs require a high technology device with more features, then that would be considered. So let me see the training I had left, am I right? Yes, so for the training, the agency understands that when something is recommended, some new technology or device is recommended, the clients or our customers do need training on how to use that. The agency does have a list of or a pool of technology tutors. They are not our employees, they are our vendors. So they work with us, but they don't work for us. But the clients, once it is determined that they would need training, I would usually recommend, a finite amount of training. For example, I would say 10 hours might be needed or 20 hours might be needed. And if once that is done, the case manager would reach out to one of these technology tutors and provide them an authorization to train the client. Now, these trainings, most of them are virtual. They are not in person, but we still have a few tutors who can do in person for clients that we feel might need in person, but most of them are virtual, like they would be providing remote instruction by kind of connecting with the computer or over the phone, whatever works good with between the client and the tutor. But the technology tutor does provide a timely report to the case manager as to how the training is going, if there are any needs for the training to be more successful, or if they are not able to progress the way they should. The case manager gets all kind of monthly reports or timely reports and can take a decision about the ongoing training as to what next needs to be done. So other than the technology tutor, as I discussed before, when I come over to demonstrate or install or deliver the devices, I will provide a basic orientation. The clients are free to ask questions. I won't be able to train them, but I'll be able to answer the quick start questions. Like, for example, how would the program start? Or how would the device start? What if the device doesn't start? What if I don't see anything on the display? These kind of questions can be addressed at the time of the delivery of items. But advanced training is usually the scope of the technology tutors. And also that I would also provide resources to the clients. For example, if they are, for example, if I recommend NVDA to them. So NVDA has a few free, NVDA has a free user guide. So I'm going to download that user guide onto the client's desktop and let them read it, the quick start guide at least, let them read it with the NVDA mouse tracker so that they'll be able to understand about the, the most basic commands by which the program can be turned on, turned off, or small feature changes can be made, or the program can be used to read an email or some basic text or some basic web page. So those resources will be provided, those self-training resources will be provided for each and every program. For example, if it is a CCTV, then the user guide, the online version would be provided. If the client is able to read the hard copy and they want the hard copy, it will usually come with the device and they can just put it into the same CCTV and enlarge it and read it to get the most out of that device. So this is about the training. Now, the next slide is a question which came up to me. Are there costs associated? So your case manager, when you are registered for services and when you are found suitable for services, your case manager usually does a financial determination with you. So during that financial determination, it will be figured out whether there is a cost of participation. Sometimes there is no cost of participation. Whatever the agency offers, clients do not have a copay, but yet other times clients do have a copay on devices. But I mean, that is all prior to the technology assessment. And when such clients who have a substantial amount of copay are referred, this information is also provided to me. So I keep that in mind, and I would recommend some things or technologies which are simpler and cheaper in nature and which can do their job. So yes, there is a cost of participation, but not always. And your case manager would be along with you, work with you together and would be able to determine if you do have a cost of participation and how much. Oh yeah, again, I did have the is training available or required. So I missed on that. So orientation provided by RTS. So RTS is Rehab Technology Specialist, that is me. So as I was telling, when I come over to deliver the devices, I will provide you the orientation.
To Home Depot. 1:44 p.
Okay, good. We are good.
Go ahead, Nitesh. We are at 1:45, just a heads up.
Sure, just a few more minutes. So training resources provided, as I was telling you, training resources would be provided. Training resources for the self-training. Technology tutors, we discussed, the agency has technology tutors, a pool of them, and one of them is assigned to a client and they work with the clients and they are great tutors. Consultations provided, if, for example, the training is going on, the tutor is working with the client and the client still feels something is not right, something is not working right, they are welcome to reach out back to the rehab technology team. And if I get a call like that, I would try to analyze what was recommended and try to figure out what is not working. And then we can devise the next steps on how to go on from there. The last slide, I believe, is this last one. Yeah. Are there any time commitments? Yes, there are time commitments. So once I get a referral, I will usually contact the clients within 15 days and try to make a intake pre-assessment or an assessment within about 30 days from that time. After I do an assessment, I do get 10 days to submit my report to the counselor or to the case manager. And there are no time limits specified further on, but rest assured, we work very swiftly, we work very promptly with clients, and we have to prioritize their needs based on their goals. For example, if someone is starting a job in 2 weeks, we have to see them in 2 weeks. Once they start their jobs, they would need to be working, and we need to provide some technology or some assistance before that. So it's based on what is needed, where, what is needed, how. And we do have time commitments, but let me also tell you, we have a queue of clients. So sometimes we are not able to meet this commitment, but I try my best to do that. And I certainly prioritize cases based on what might be time-sensitive request. Common do's and don'ts, yes. So I was asked a question as to what the clients should do and what they should not do. So the clients have to be open, honest, and committed. So if you have a device or a technology which you got from a different agency or got from a different state, please do let us know. We are not going to take that device away from you. We are going to include that device in our recommendations so that you keep using that. And we would then be able to provide you something different, which might be, together with that device, may become a more useful kind of strategy for you. So be open, honest, and be committed. Committed means, like, if everything works if the client does their part, otherwise nothing works. Technology is provided, devices are provided, but if the client doesn't do the homework or the hard work to learn, the results might not be achieved. So that is very important. Be committed, have faith on what is being recommended, try to embrace technology, and that would be give good results. So avoid preconceptions. So these days, a lot of our clients are able to, surf the internet or attend the low vision support group meetings and, get some names of some of the devices which exist in the market, the top ones, and then come to us saying that only this is going to work for me. I know nothing else is going to work. So this may not be the best method of. Let the rehab technology specialist understand and assess your needs. And if the device that you have in mind is the only one that is going to work for you, both you and me would reach at the same conclusion. So that is how it's going to work. Understand and embrace technology. Yes, that's true. Technology is kind of a piece of cake sometimes, but not always. So it's always good to, embrace open-mindedly and try to learn as much as you can. We are here to help you at each step that you need, but you all must be doing your homework and your part of the need. So be patient. The agency is here to help you. Again, the same thing as I was telling, there we have um, a large pool of clients. So we try to address each and every case individually and try to give our best for each client. But sometimes it does happen that delays come or there's a wait list, but that's okay. I mean, if the need arises, we can jump that and we can, reach out to you in time or on time. So be patient and just let us know. Be communicative. Let us know if something is happening or something is changing. Your vision is changing. Just let your case manager know or let the rehab technology specialist know, and we would be happy to help you with that. So thank you so much, all of you, for being so patient in listening to what I said. This is Nitesh Rathod. The phone number is 571-295-6841. 571-295-6841. Sean should be able to share that with you. I do have an email also. So at this point, we have a few minutes left, and I'm open to anyone having any questions. Thank you, Sean.
All right. Thank you so much, Nitesh. That was great. Lot of information, very, very helpful. So folks, if you have questions, one, you can put it in the chat box, but also you can unmute yourself to ask your question. To unmute yourself, there is a microphone-shaped button at the bottom left of your screen. The keyboard shortcut for that is Alt plus the letter A. And if you are on your phone, it is *6 to unmute yourself.
This is Tara. I have a question.
Go ahead, Tara.
Yeah, Nitesh, for the vocational rehab services, is it only for people who are preparing for work, or is it for everyone? And is there an age limit for that to get the service?
That's a good question. So vocational rehab services are for people who are pursuing any vocational goals. Like, as I said, like gaining employment, maintaining employment, regaining employment, or advancing in their goals of employment or career. I don't really know if there is an age limit, but I don't think there is an age limit because I have vocational clients of middle-aged or high or upper middle ages. So probably there's not an age limit here. So
Thank you.
yeah. Hope that answered your question.
It does. Thanks.
Anybody else, any questions that you have? Nothing, something that you were not able to understand of what I spoke? We have a few minutes. We could quickly jump to that.
All right. So somebody with a phone number 703, last three digits 091. All right. Maybe they didn't have a question. Let's see. Somebody in the chat box put, could you give a couple examples of technology devices in the cases you currently have? You already mentioned some of those. How many clients does Fairfax have at present? I don't know if you know that answer, but I guess a good question leading off of that is, what's the typical lead time that people need to wait before they can start getting the technology assessments done?
Well, as I said before, once I get the referral, I should be contacting you within 2 weeks, which is 15 days. And then you should be able to get a technology assessment in a month's time from there on.
Gotcha. Okay. 703, last three digits 091. Did you have a question?
Yes,
Yes, please.
Go ahead, ask your question.
We can't hear you. You want to mute and unmute yourself again?
Yep.
can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay, I was a client of BBVI back in 2015, and I wanted to know how I can, or not how, but can I still restart the process again?
Yes, please. You are able to restart the process. Just call the agency if you are in the Fairfax region. The number is
Yes, I am.
703-359-1100. And you once you call them, you will be scheduled with an intake worker who would do an intake with you and send your referral to the corresponding case manager based on what you guys discussed during the intake, what is needed, what are your goals, and what is your age bracket. And based on all that, she would decide and she would send it to one of the case managers who would then reach back out to you for filling out the forms and everything.
Okay. And what are the hours there?
The hours are from 8:30 you can take to 5 in the afternoon. We
Okay.
open at
Thank you very much.
8:15. Yeah, we do. I mean, there's no specific lunchtime. It's like flexible. But usually it is from 12:30 to 1.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, we had another person unmute 301-444. Joe, is that you?
Yes, it is. Hello, Nitesh. This is Joe with TOB.
Hello,
Great
Joe.
presentation.
Yes.
Yes, good to talk to you again. So
Thank
just
you.
to quickly review, because a lot of our clients I think would really benefit from your session. You did say something kind of overall, encouraging folks to be open, honest, and committed. So would you say that message means, honestly, the service that you're providing, really kind of trust that. And I guess what we all recognize is everyone has different challenges. And I guess the key is for them to kind of, mindful whether or not they're trying to return to work or just trying to learn a new skill. I guess the committed part is, yes, just kind of putting, knowing going in there will be, some effort, to learn training and things like that. Do you think that's a fair assessment? Because obviously everyone comes to you from different levels of competency and different goals.
Yes, Joe, I would say it's like if I were to make an analogy, I would say when you go to see a doctor, how you kind of trust them and put yourselves into their hands, thinking that
Yes.
all what is going to happen is good. So
Yes.
in the same way, when you get a technology assessment, I am going to try and assess the client to provide them the best that works for them. I mean, everything doesn't work for everyone. So just leave it on me to decide. If you have questions, I'm there to answer. If you have any doubts or any issues in mind or any concerns, I'm here to address them, explain to you. If your part of the explanation holds valid, then I would be happy to reframe my recommendations and go your way so that, but our ultimate goal is clients' benefit and their independence and their well-being.
Great. Thank you so much, Nitesh. I think that really captured it quite well. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for that question. It was a great question, though.
All right, we have time for one more question. If not, Nitesh, thank you so much for coming on today. This was really, really great.
My pleasure, Sean. Thank you for having me. And if I'll be sending you an email with the contact information. If anyone has any questions on second thoughts, please do let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them for them.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nitesh. And yes, we
Thank
will
you.
share that information as well as the recording here in the next day or so.
Thank you so
But
much.
yeah, but otherwise, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.